Okay, so this is part 3, the last part of the story about this document. And if someone happens upon the video, just if you're interested, go back to the other parts. Otherwise, again, I'm making this video just for personal record keeping. So in the last one, I was showing you guys the document in question that I asked the attorney about, why it says that I was born, why it says that in my, okay, this was in my file at Vista Del Mar. This was me, baby girl, blank blank. It says here, birth date 5/10/57. My real birth date that I grew up with was 4/10/57. The time I was born on the other documents that I've shown in other videos says I was born at a different time. This document that I found that I'm questioning after 40 years of having it in my space, I'm finally looking at it like, what? Part 1, the infant, medical information. And where's the confidential word? Oh, look, it vanished. So anyway, yeah, so I saw all these typos, these date typos. But look at this. This is supposed to be the examination of a newborn baby. And they left all these other factoids out. Normal female newborn. So this is paperwork that a nurse or an examiner files out for a newborn. Well, May 10, I would have been a month old, wasn't a newborn. Here it is on page 2. Someone by hand filled out nutrition, you know, all these stats, physical. An interesting thing here, it says dismissal weight 610. When I was born, on the other forms it says I weighed 7 pounds 10 ounces at birth. So according to this, I lost a pound when I was dismissed. And here's the formula. Here's the date recommended for next exam, 6/11/57. That would put it in June. That would have made me 2 months old, according to my other birthday that I think I was born on, which is April. Special attention, blah, blah, blah. So, date of examination, 5/11/57. That would put me at a month and 1 day old, not newborn. If it was about me, the newborn, it would say 4/11/57. Signature, can't quite read it, but there's a signature of the physician. Here's another typo date of dismissal, May 15, 1957. Really? That'd make me 5 weeks old. So the question I have for the attorney was, well, why does it say this? This document was in my file indicating that all this newborn was examined a month later than my real birthday. So what's up? And that's when he said, well, you can celebrate 2 birthdays. And the implications of him saying that to me are real interesting because, you know, I wanted to say, oh yeah, well, what sign are you? Who wants to have 2 birthdays? Did you want to fragment and create a schizophrenic baby or what? Anyway, now I'm kind of doing this talk and all these videos in a light manner, but the implications are, or could be, that while I was, before I was legally adopted, which legally, according in the court system, I was legally adopted all the way in a year later. Here's another interesting, I want to bring this up once again because here's the attorney in the other videos. That's him. He's 98 years old. the last correspondence with my parents, he said that he did all the paperwork for the adoption to go through, da da da. And then he goes, I expect the bill to me, as my nickname, and notice that he used my familiar name, not my whole name. The only people that call me that are relatives. I don't like to use that name, but he got to know my parents well enough and my little baby self well enough that in this formal letter, he says, I expect the bill to me to be paid over a period of many, many years. What does that mean? The bill to me, I'm going to pay the bill for this service over the period of many, many years? Okay, I'm trying to keep my voice down in a polite manner. But the whole point being is that if I called him back and said, well, what was this all about? And I'm making this video just to point out the implications of these activities that have been going on behind the public awareness concerning experiments that were made on DNA tests and babies and all these other things that bleed into the whole subject of other things that are referred to. Well, let me end it this way. So I slept for about 12 hours after making yesterday's part 2, and I wake up this morning and I look on to see who's saying what on the internet, and I ran into a interview that Michael Salla did with Niara Isley. So anybody listening to this, if you listen to Michael Sala's work, or Niara, Niara, Isley, Isley, I've had her book since she wrote it. Anyway, it was a really cool interview he just did with her. It's on YouTube, Dr. Michael Salla. So that's the arena that I've been involved in, and the arena that all this is implying, how one way that as you heard when I said to the attorney I mentioned the word cloning, shaken like a leaf, and he didn't laugh and tell me there's no such thing. So, and yeah, so if this, it could be that this is actually the duplicate baby. I said it. This could actually be a little form that they stuck in my file, but it could have more to do with a duplicate baby that happened, and that's why the date's a month later, because that little baby could have been easily test tube raised or whatever, raised in another fashion, and it could just be a extension of my genetics when I was born. Could be. It could be. I'm just saying. I called Vista Del Mar a while back, and I asked the woman I was speaking to if she can tell me, was Vista Del Mar ever involved in classified research with the children that were in their legal care, little babies up for adoption. And of course she ended the phone call. She didn't say yes or no, but that is how they have accessed children, is through adoption agencies. And bless their heart, they've helped a lot of people. They still operate to this day. They're not just working with Jewish people and everything, but boy, if I went down the rabbit hole of this organization, you might find out that they're affiliated with cloning centers all over the world. You never know. And the whole issue of cloning, I suggest people listening to this just go look into it. Allegedly, when Bill Clinton did some sort of legal, cloning's not allowed in the United States. Well, just go look at Winnipeg cloning center. There's cloning centers all over. I've seen a video where North Korea, this American took a tour, and he went to this high school in North Korea, and they escorted him around the high school for a minute, and he walked right into a cloning lab, and the kids had their own little equipment and everything at their desk, and they were teaching them how to do it. So the super soldier program, the cloning business is it's quite real. I would suggest you all go do some heavy research on our friend Dave Chappelle, before and after Africa, and go look at the body before and the body after, because there are rumors that his cousin also talked about in the video about is he a clone, and most of the population laughs at it, but you know, the technology is real. They can duplicate and grow this, that, and the other. And also I opened up my what do you call it, playlist. I have a cloning playlist. That movie called The Resurrection of Zach Wheeler, it was made in the 80s. That's such a good movie, but it shows the camera special effects, how fast they can grow a second body. Anyway, I'm sure that if they did clone little babies, they're wondering if a soul would enter that newborn body and grow up. So they're, oh, and I'm just going to end this by saying this about the cloning business, because I don't know one way or the other, but way back in the 80s, I was at an art show with my partner on Mount Lemmon, which is above Tucson, and we were selling and having a nice day in the woods, selling our stuff, and I think I mentioned this in another video. So a man walked by our booth, and he was just staring at me kind of hard. I think he was with his wife or someone. He was tall, he had glasses, kind of a studious looking guy. And he was just staring at me, and then he actually took a couple steps over me. He says, you know, you have a clone on Mount Lemmon, or in Mount Lemmon. He just said it out of the blue. This is in the 80s. I knew nothing about clone. He goes, you got a clone on Mount Lemmon. And it was deadpan. And I said, oh yeah, there's probably a lot of girls look like me, because there probably are. But he said, no, you have an identical clone on Mount Lemmon. He couldn't take his eyes off me, this guy. So that was the year like 1988 or something like that. So he went on his way, and then a couple years after that, I got information about there being a joint military alien base under Mount Lemmon, and I have a few other stories related to that. So, you know, what if? It wouldn't surprise me a bit, especially because I have such a physical affinity for living in this county, in this area. I always thought it was just my ancestor bones are here, and that's a good enough reason, but there's so much activity going on. It's amazing. So anyway, that's a document that is weird. So I'm just documenting that because it's a document. And you have to document a document. And that's it. So thank you very much. And 13, oh, that's my favorite number. We're going to end this video.